Hey everybody, today I'd like to ask you a question about justice, a tough one I believe, and I'd like you to think about it. It involves double jeopardy, not the game show, but the prohibition of a defendant to be tried twice on the same set of facts. A practical reason for this prohibition is to prevent a prosecutor from bringing you to court until he gets the verdict he desires. Consider the case of Frank Antoine Lewis. In 1994, when he was 14 years old, he walked up to a parked car in West Hollywood and shot the driver, Lisa LaPierre. Lisa lived, but the gunshot paralyzed her from the neck down, and she was forced to drop out of USC. She spent the next 15 years on a ventilator and a wheelchair. She passed away in January. Now Frank Lewis pleaded guilty to attempted murder and served his time in juvie jail. Now here's the interesting bit. Can he be prosecuted for murder if the coroner's office determines the shooting in 1994 officially caused Lisa's death? You've got to provide causation that any act of Frank Lewis caused Lisa's eventual death. And it does seem a bit suspicious, doesn't it? The fact that she lived 15 more years? Then again, if in fact his actions did cause Lisa's murder, at the time of the prosecution, the government couldn't have possibly charged Lewis with murder. If things weren't complicated enough, Lewis is now 30 years old and was a juvenile at the time. To me, it feels very awkward to charge this grown man as a juvie. In my mind, it's almost as if he's a different person. If the prosecution does go through with this, that bullet took its time to kill Lisa, didn't it? It traveled 15 years to murder Miss LaPierre. Consider this. Instead of Lisa LaPierre dying 15 years after getting shot, what if she had died 15 minutes into the trial? Would they have changed the charge to murder? What if it was 15 days after the conviction? My human and common sense side wants to say that this is exactly the same crime, and Mr. Frank Antoine Lewis has paid his debt. But my technical side says the prosecution can go for it. What do you make of it?